long-term crop, which is our tree crops. We have walnuts and almonds. We consider that a permanent crop because a lot goes to getting that crop producing fruit. So we would consider that a long-term crop investment. And then we also grow traditional row crops, which is some corn, wheat, alfalfa, some cotton. Traditionally, our irrigation methods were our flood practicing methods, which we have moved the trees into a micro irrigation method. We are irrigating the walnuts now with micro irrigation, which uses less water, and hopefully we still get the same crop. It's new to us. We've only been doing it for a short term, but all of our orchards are now on some type of micro, either a drip on the almonds, or drip irrigation, and a sprinkler on the walnuts. It's supposed to give us uniform water pattern and better penetration, consuming less water. Throughout the year, we'll take leaf samples as well as soil samples to check what we are deficient in, or maybe we are needing to put more fertilizer or less fertilizer, depending on the soil type and the results from our soil test and leaf samples. And we do this throughout the year, which gives us better understanding of what the soil needs, instead of us just following our traditional application of fertilizers, which increase our nitrate levels in our area. So we want to control that by doing the samples yearly. Till, or we call minimal till process, we still do in our row crops. We will grow a winter crop, and then when we come in to plant the corn after the wheat is coming off, we'll go in and we will do a strip till or no till, because there's implements out there that could do that work. Have tractors in the field less times. You're not working the soil, you're just basically going in and planting right on top of the wheat field that's there. So you don't have to work up the soil, till it up, prep it, bed it, and plant it. You plant right on the soil that's already grown a crop before. A couple things that does, of course, is we're burning less fuel. Also, we save labor, and you're being a good steward of the earth by minimizing the carbon footprint that it takes to grow a crop. Not on the permanent crops, but on our row crops, we're going to be growing the wheat throughout the winter, going into corn throughout the summer, rotating these crops. Or on the cotton, we'll just grow the single crop per year, and that'll be it. Only cotton, and then the ground will stay fallow throughout the winter. The process of composting, organic compost, manure compost, we're using that annually. We put on, after we do our soil samples, we see what we're deficient in, how many pounds per acre that we will put down, and we put down compost in all the orchards this year. We have a PCA, he's our crop advisor, so he'll come out and evaluate, look at the soil samples and see what we're deficient in, how much compost we're going to use, any other fertilizers that we're going to put down for the winter. Crop advisors are educated, that have gone to school, they understand the soil breakdowns, so they're telling us how much fertilizer or what not to put on so that we maximize our crop but still maintain a balance between not putting too much either. If you look around all over these farms, you see a lot of them have a solar farm now. There's grants out there that are coming out for us to utilize other sources of energy to minimize that footprint. And all over the valley, most farmers are conservative people, They want to find the most efficient way to process their crops, grow their food, whether they're using certain irrigation practices or leveling their fields to maximize water penetration, to maximize every drop of water they can, because it's very expensive to pump water. A lot of times they always say, that you want to be a good steward of the earth. Farmers follow those simple practices that emulate these practices, but it has to still be efficient. To be efficient, because at the end of the day, it has to be profitable.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. There's more efficient equipment out there that's available to a person like myself, which doesn't have a lot of acreage. A lot of this new equipment is more economically purchased by someone who's doing a lot of it, a lot of acreage. So they could buy that equipment that meets what they call a Tier 4 requirement, which is less pollutants. But the equipment's very expensive. As we move forward and we look at purchasing some of these things, we have to really look at other ways to acquiring them through grants that the Air Board has been able to give us, and we try to take advantage of any of those resources because it really helps us acquire these very expensive tooling. We have discussed the possibility of maybe growing some type of organic orchard, but it takes 2 years to get certified, and financially I couldn't do it right now, but maybe in the future might be something that we try with maybe one specific plot. Hopefully that, of course, would save us a lot of money on herbicides and pesticides, and hopefully the organic market would help sustain us.